Welcome to the Luxe Leap, where bold women turn ambition into action. I'm your host, Reland Logan, and together we'll explore the big moves, smart strategies, and extraordinary branding behind unstoppable businesses. So, I have a question. What if breaking through 3K to 5K monthly plateau wasn't about doing more, but doing what actually works? Stephanie Treasure is a marketing strategist and business coach who helps ambitious coaches turn momentum into milestone success. She supports women on the path to six figures in annual sales, helping them move from stuck and scattered to strategic and seen. Her clients have landed 10K months, pulled off multiple five-figure launches, booked high-impact speaking gigs, and built authority-level brands that get noticed and paid. Armed with an MBA in marketing management with honors from St. John University and a Bachelor of Science in marketing from CUNY, and media features in Savvy Ladies, The Mogul Mom, and Thrive Global, Stephanie blends heart, hustle, and hard-earned strategy. She's spoken on international stages, lives in beautiful Jamaica, and is passionate about plant-based living, healthy habits, and travel. Please welcome the coach behind the brand breakthroughs, Stephanie Treasure. Hi, Stephanie.
Hi, I'm so happy to be here, Rayland.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm excited to have you. And it wouldn't be the Luxe Leap if I didn't just kick it straight off with asking you, what inspired you to start your brand? Give us the brief Reader's Digest version of how we got here.
Yeah, sure. So in terms of the brand, I would say the business was started before the brand was, although it usually is either together or you think of the brand first and then the business. In the sense where my first go around, and I've changed business models a couple times, was really as a boutique publishing company where I published a full color real estate guide for my local industry. It was for people who want to get more visibility for their properties, their brand, and pretty much kind of like what I call the marketplace for bringing buyers and sellers together. And so as the publisher, my clients were the advertisers, and my onus, my mandate was to get my clients and advertisers as much visibility for their brands, for their companies, for their listings as possible, so that they could be found by the people who need their services and bring on more clients and sell more real estate in locally. And so because of all the work, which included PR, social media, in-person advertising, sponsoring local events, because of the work that I was doing to get more visibility for that magazine, I had some of those clients approach me for supporting them with getting their brands more visible, getting them, more, social media aware, and getting them in front of more of their people through social media. I was charged with helping them to get, helping their sales teams to, get more visible and get more out there and bring on more clients and sell more real estate. And so I kind of became known as the visibility queen, if you will, because of the work that I was doing with them. And then I kind of branched out from that into what I'm doing today. There was another little stop in between where I did consultancy work because I started helping them with like done for you work with their websites, with their social media management, with their workshops, etc. Then I went into supporting my clients who were not just in that industry, but rather coaches who were looking to leverage online marketing to reach more of their people, reach more of their clients, get their brand more known, get more exposure, get more visible, show up as an expert, and call in more clients, more opportunities, and continue to grow from there. So that's kind of the story in terms of what led me to now operating as an authority marketing strategist and business coach, supporting coaches to lead with that visibility piece, with that authority piece that has them really stand out as an expert, and leveraging that, go into the marketing, go into the lead gen, go into the launching and sales processes that will allow them to bring in more of their high-end clients and make more money.
That is so incredible to think about, going from like creating this magazine for real estate to now helping coaches and how those tied together. Because when you hear those two things separate, like they don't go together in your brain. You're like, how does this piece here. And you just
Yeah.
beautifully were like, no, there was a bridge and we crossed it and we're here. And it's like, these things matter to all businesses. And, I think back to our very first conversation where you and I were talking and you're like, no, I'm really good at like this marketing piece, this true, like get it in front of the person. And I'm so good at, the part where we build it before we get it to the person. And we just need more of what you do because not a lot of people are strong in that regard. Um, well, at all, truly. I mean, I know how to create a damn good marketing strategy because I know how to take a message and move it. But it's the work of making it happen that you excel at so beautifully that I will run away from faster than we
Mm.
can start screaming fire, to be honest. Um, and I love that. So when you think about like in that journey of going from that magazine, that place where we were bringing community together to where you're at today, what was a pivotal moment in that brand journey that really defined getting to working with coaches and helping them hit these 10K months?
Yeah, I would have to say, I wouldn't say it was one particular moment. It would have been like phases throughout my journey where I would come across or enroll clients who really had, you deal with somebody, you contract, you say this is a service, this is what I do. They say, okay, that's what I want. You get together, you work with them and support them to get the result that they are after. And then during that journey, the relationship between yourself and your clients ensue, and then you kind of get behind the scenes of, so yes, they want this end result. That's clear. That's on paper. That's what I do. But beneath that is some kind of a purpose or mission or something that is life changing, something that makes an impact that is, once you support them to get that result, that that underlying cause that they stand for is going to, reach its end, or it's going to be able to blossom. It's going to be able to grow. So I've worked with the gamut of clients. One of my clients locally here in my transitions was a client. I was helping her with her website, and she helped people with alopecia, right?
Oh,
And that was, and I have family members with that ailment as well. And having been able to help her to, put that website together, get more exposure for her brand, and even refer her to people, would be clients through, my network or people who I know who needed her help, it really made it more, like I said, for want of being cheeky, it was really, I saw the impact in terms of what, the little, blip that I had in her journey in terms of just helping her with this website. It meant so much more. I've had clients who were relationship coaches and really cared about supporting people with either finding their significant other or really having longevity in their marriages. I've supported coaches who who were into veganism and really wanted to further that cause, to be able to do so, get more visible, get on more platforms, create weekly shows, pre-recorded shows as a result of that. And I saw the impact that made. And so I felt that, or realized that, yes, while I come into the picture with my authority marketing strategy and my framework to support them to bring in more clients and make more money, the business of things, I realize that it's powering so much more than that, not only in terms of the impact that they want to make with, the causes that they stand for, but also the impact that it makes on their lives in how things have changed. Now that they kind of get the framework and they've rolled it out in their businesses, they can be more in control of what's coming in, the money that's coming in, how they want their business model to look, how many hours of the week they want to work, or how many days of the week. I see the impact that has, and I know that I'm a part of something so much bigger than I thought, or that because also as an entrepreneur, my thing was, yeah, I need something that's going to make money to replace my corporate income, right?
yeah.
But it's much more than that now.
That is incredible. Just like thinking back to all of those clients who you're like, no, this was the impact beyond them making money, because energetically speaking, money is just a tool. And it's really about like what experiences, what can we make with that happen in order to achieve those things. And so just thinking about, folks who have alopecia who need those resources, that website is going to be so much more than that. It's giving them scope. Like for folks who want to go vegan or need to go vegan for health reasons, I think there's a variety of reasons that people eat vegan, not just because, animals, like there's a variety of reasons to go vegan, and the impact that it has on folks' lives, like from inflammation and things of that nature. So to see and understand the impact that is moving forward beyond those elements, relationship coaches, heaven knows lots of people need it. The divorce rate is out of control, y'all. But make decisions that are best for you, because I'm not here to tell you how to love. Any way you look at it, it's creating a lot of deeper things, like skipping a rock onto the lake. Like there is multiple rings coming from each one of those skips, and to know that you had a part in that has to be a beautiful thing.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. You're so right. It really, like I said, it's eye-opening. It's, you kind of expect it, but because you do know that you're working with people that have these multifaceted lives, but to be a part of it and to like I said, to see behind the scenes and, build those relationships or nurture those relationships that you're forming just, by way of doing business with somebody, you're going to have a relationship, and then getting to the core of why they're doing this, why it matters, and how you had a part to play in the outcome or the transformation or in some other entities development or these my clients' lives. It really just takes it to a whole other level. I actually, at one point, I had created a Facebook group. I still have that Facebook group, but I've changed the name, and it was called Purposeful, Passionate, and Powerful Entrepreneurs, because I was leading at the time with I support purpose driven coaches, which I still do, but I'm not necessarily branding that way anymore. If you know what I mean.
Yeah. Oh, I do know what you mean, since that's like, my whole world. But when you made that change, and I, I know I said pivotal, but I actually hate the word pivot. I don't know if I've ever shared that on this podcast,
Mm,
everyone. 2020 made me hate the word pivot with a burning passion. I never want to hear it again. Pivotal, okay, fine. Pivot,
mm.
deep, deep breath, like just let it go. But um there's moments where you had to make that change for your brand, and we're going to have moments where we make shifts again. I'm in the process of actually shifting myself, which I love doing. That does not mean that I'm rebranding everything. Nothing will change the way that it looks visually. How my brand looks visually is stunning. I'm very proud of it. But I notice that when I communicate like this with you, when I'm communicating um with folks that I'm coaching, or I'm communicating like with best friends who we meet up on Fridays to talk about business, I have a tendency to really back out and be very chill and
Mm.
not care about what words come out of my mouth. And that is who I am as a human being. Like I can be both like buttoned up Rayland, and I can also be the woman who says dude one too many times for an appropriate conversation. It's
Oh,
fine.
so funny.
Um So I've been taking my tools and I've been like blending the way that I talk, because it's just making it easier for people to get to know me on the internet before they actually get to know me like you and I know each other today. And
Yeah.
as I was doing this brand work, I was laughing because one of my tools will analyze how you use your words for tone, tempo, and terminology. And I was cracking up because I took how I actually talk and I popped that in from a transcript. Stephanie, I kid you not. It came back. It's like, you're chaotically brilliant. It's very clear that you know your stuff and you just don't give a shit about thought leadership. Like you're just going to say it how it
Oh
is.
my God, that sounds so on point. From what I know of you, that sounds actually on point.
crying laughing. I was like, oh,
So
and it just
funny.
kept going. It's like you're like a lady who's wearing a designer hoodie with $80 lipstick and like 3-day-old hair and a claw clip with coffee in hand. I don't drink coffee. I do drink these Dutch Bros lemonades on. Well, it's an addiction. That's all we need to know.
Mhm.
And I'm laughing because you have seen this plate or seen me pull from this plate. There are designer lipsticks on this plate if you're watching on YouTube, y'all. There is Gucci. There is YSL. And Charlotte Tilbury just makes a damn good lipstick, so there's a few of hers on here. I say
Nice,
all that to say
nice.
sometimes we have to make tweaks to get closer to how
Yeah.
we are today because we're always growing. And as you're making those
Mm.
tweaks, question for you, what are your long-term goals, especially as we move into a newer year for expanding your brand's impact?
I mean, first of all, like I said, I really, really love what came back about you, and I do feel you are authentic. You do come off as like so real, and I know that I won't even say if we meet in person. When we meet in person, it's
We
gonna be like
totally
we're on Zoom. We just took the Zoom to in person, so I can't wait for us to get together. But in terms of, long-term goals, and I won't say pivot, but, in terms of, what I want to bring about. I know. But in terms of what I want to bring about, right? There are some times where you get really, philosophical and you get really, you kind of come out of the day to day and even the year to year, because sometimes, year to year, things are not going to look that much different. At least it hasn't for me. But I do think of that time, and hopefully it will be in the very near future where, yeah, this brand that I've built, that I feel like I'm continuing to build, will look um, somewhat different. And so some of the things that I have in mind, again, coming back to impact and knowing the work that I do, how many more people it can help, and the plans that they have or the causes behind what they do or the things that they want to enhance or change in their own lives, knowing that the impact that that makes and how I'm working with clients right now, it's going to limit that impact because, as you can imagine, you know, I work with clients high end in terms of working with them one on one, or working with them in a mastermind, or sometimes working with them in a group program, which is usually around early to mid four figures in terms of the investment.
Mhm.
And that limits somewhat. That can be expansive, and that can expose you to working with a lot of clients. But I feel like I want for people who are even at the earlier stages of their journey to be able to get access to some of what I teach that can support them as they graduate to the various phases. I sometimes in my teachings or master classes or trainings that I'm doing, I'll talk about moving your clients through a journey. Say in education, it's high school. Some people make a stop at an associate's degree, then go to bachelor's, then go to the master's, then the PhD. I want for people to be able to go through those levels. So I don't think I have an associate's degree level. I don't have rather an associate's degree level type of offering or way that people can work with me. And I want to be able to provide that. So what that would look like is being able to, I have a vision of starting a membership that's going to have, probably anywhere from 100 to 500 people who will be able to get access to some support from me or maybe team members as they grow on their journey to get to that point where, yeah, maybe the next step would be my group program, and then the next step would be the mastermind, etc. I also have a vision of creating a media arm. And I smile because we were talking a little bit about this because we do have some friends in common who, and of course yourself, who has this media aspect of your business through your podcast. And as you know, with the podcast, it can look like an arm for helping you to market your business, as well as it can have a life of its own where you are interviewing people even outside of the coaching industry or the brand or branding or marketing, because you want to be able to talk to inspiring people, interesting people, people behind causes, people who are giving back and, various things. I do see myself in my visions of grandeur, creating that media arm that becomes a life of its own, helping the same and being marketed, yes, to the same kind of people in my sphere right now, but even reaching beyond that. Right. So I'm not quite sure what that would look like, but I do feel like I have some things to say, some things to share. I don't know if I'm the most inspirational person on the planet, but I feel like, yeah, the things that I can say, the experiences that I've had, there's something about them that I can share that may help other people to glean a lesson or two or to feel more encouraged. And I'd like to bring more of those people through that, the podcast or however it takes shape. I'd like to bring more of those people to um, my people into the world, if you if you will, right? I know it sounds like I said very huge, but yeah, that's kind of some thoughts that I've had when I think medium to long term.
Oh my goodness. I don't think it's that crazy huge at all. I think you could do it tomorrow. But I am definitely the friend you keep around when you want somebody to tell you that your grand idea is like totally attainable. That's just the friend I am. I'm like, yeah, no, like
Yeah,
you got time? Let's make it happen right now. You
yeah.
can totally
Oh, I
do it.
love that.
And you know incredible people and you do have amazing stories to share. And screw off if somebody doesn't think you're the most inspirational. Like you're going to inspire plenty of people. And the ones who don't want to hear it, well, they were never good enough. So
Mm.
sorry, not sorry. But Unfiltered Raylan brought to you by the letter A, like Street. I can just see it. You're going to have just this incredible presence that helps people get to that next space and recognizing that there is another level that people are missing out on your greatness, and to be able to create that impact to see them grow in a way that's healthy and sustainable, but also creates the impact of their dreams. I think you have something amazing, and spreading that out via podcast. And oh my gosh, the idea of my podcast is officially, everybody, we're always recording so far in advance, just an FYI. But like the concept of doing this happened last year, yesterday.
Wow.
Isn't that
Wow.
crazy? So
Yeah.
let's just say that is like finding its way into this conversation now. And yours is going to be, you're going to be on like episode 50 this time next year. It's going to be great.
Thank you for calling that into being for me. Yes, I will. I will take that to my meditations and my visions and add it into my manifestation schedule.
It's happening. I mean, this
Thank
only
you.
happened because two friends came to me and they're like, you should do this. And I was like, nah, I'm cool, bro. Legit, probably how I said it. And then we had a whole election. Kamala Harris was actually here in my town last night, which I was like, isn't that full circle? And I
Yeah.
snapped on the beach and said, okay, fine, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it for women. And I called them back and said, okay, let's do this podcast a year ago.
Mm.
So
Wow.
this might be your moment. I don't know. Maybe I'm just like passing it through. I'd say osmosis, but we're not in the same room. Virtually through the 4D, through the 5D. I don't know. Somebody call Raina Campbell. All right. Well, I have fun questions for you, and I'm actually super stoked to ask you these fun questions. Now, after we just had this like moment of it's going into your meditation, it's going down. What does a day of living a luxurious life look like for you?
That would be starting waking, having a morning routine that's probably like around 2 hours, right? Easing into the day, yoga, exercise, reading, probably getting a facial or, just something that's really has me ease in a way where self-care comes first and not just like, 15-minute, meditation or something, which is kind of what I'm doing right now. But like I said, at least a couple of hours, possibly calling a good friend or speaking with a family member so that I have that social aspect as well, because I do work from home and then easing into the day, right? And in terms of what the days can look like, it just depends. I'd like for one day of the week, let's just say a Wednesday, me going to a tennis class at like midday, or a piano class at like 4 p.m. on a Thursday, because I've wrapped up for the day by 3 o'clock or something, right? It may look like travel, not just for business, but if I feel like I need a retreat. We were talking about veganism, and as you know, from my bio, I'm plant-based, and I have a desire to attend retreats. One of the people that I follow online actually is having one in Bali right now.
Oh, so nice.
Um, I've never been to one of her retreats, and you should see the price tag on this. But yeah, I'm like, yeah, it would be the norm for me to attend at least one either food related or self care related retreat per year, right? Let me see what else I'd work into my day. I'm not quite sure. It just depends, Definitely client calls and hosting my podcast. We're saying that that's happening.
It's happening.
And yeah,
It's
it's
happening.
just a very flowy, easeful calendar, schedule that I have that allows for me to intertwine things that I love to do outside of business, as well as serving my clients, as well as things, like I said, recording my podcast, possibly taking either a Spanish class or piano lesson or something else. Yeah, just very easeful and flowy.
I love it. Just the power of choice. The choice to just say, today we're going to Vermont. I don't know why I picked Vermont. It's not exactly somewhere I want to go. Turkey. We're going to Istanbul, everybody. All
Yeah.
right. And then last one, best one. In one word, what is your primary motivation in business?
Hmm. In one word, my primary motivation, I would say self-development. Kind of like a
Oh, nobody's ever
I
said that. Why?
I read somewhere a few months ago that they say the entrepreneurial journey is very much a self-development journey, or I think it would either say self-development or personal development journey. And it really is, because it will test you, it will stretch you, it will humble you, it will give you compassion for others, as I mentioned, in terms of my relationship with my clients and how I feel a part of their dreams and their causes. And that has been the case for me on this journey. I've grown, I've learned, I've been discouraged, I've been lifted up, I felt empowered. I've learned new skills. Here it is. You had to learn this platform to do this podcast. I have to learn possibly video editing or TikTok or editing, something else, audios, or, these different things. So I feel like I'm still on that journey. I'm learning in life, or learning from my entrepreneurship journey, from my business, certain life skills, as it really is very much, everything is very much intertwined. I don't think we ever turn off the business. We can turn off the tasks and be like, all right, computer's shut, I'm going to go cook or whatever. But we're never really off. It's very much intertwined, and I embrace that. And I like the journey in terms of how it is growing me as a person.
I love that. I love that answer so much. That is incredible. Because you're right. I can't turn this off. My brain's always thinking about it, and all of you become my friends because we understand each other to a very deep degree.
Mm.
And then all of a sudden, whatever I'm growing with, I like share it and all those things. And it could be over drinks. Could be over actual business. You never know.
Yeah.
I had a funny chat with a friend today who was like, okay, we're prepping for a call tomorrow, but like, yeah, how are you? So like, you can't turn them off. Like these aren't buttons we can turn off anymore. And it stretches you, it grows you, it makes you honestly stronger and more resilient, I think, than our counterparts who choose to do 9 to 5 jobs. And like, there's
Mm,
nothing wrong with that choice. We just
right.
chose a different path.
Yeah,
So I love
indeed.
it. I love it. Well, how can people get a hold of you? How can they partner with you? How can they reach you?
Sure. I'm all over the socials, especially since, like I said, I used to be seen as a visibility coach. Yeah, so you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. If you do a search for Stephanie Treasure, I'm in all the places. It just may differ a little bit. So on Instagram, it's the Stephanie Treasure. On LinkedIn, it's Stephanie Treasure. On YouTube, Stephanie Treasure. Facebook, the same thing. On my Facebook page, I think facebook.com/ Stephanie Treasure Biz, BIZ like zebra. So yeah, if you Google me, you'll find me. My main website is stephanietreasure.com. And from there, all the links are there. So that's how you can get
Oh
in
my
touch.
goodness. I love it. Also, everybody, her name is Pure Gold. Don't know if you noticed. Incredible. Incredible, incredible. And I love how you're like me, where you're like, you could just Google me and you'll find it. Don't worry. Like, no big deal, everyone. Um, Amazing. Well, please make sure that you connect with Stephanie, everyone. It will seriously help change your business. And if you're interested in any of the things that she offers, like go now, don't walk, run. That's something you need to do. But if today's episode has you rethinking how you're showing up and you're ready for a brand that actually turns heads, I'd love to invite you to book your Brand Muta Brand Breakthrough. It's my video deep dive brand audit that helps you see exactly what's working, what's not, and what needs to shift to attract your champagne clientele. So you can grab your spot at graydigitalmktg.co/brandmuta-review and start turning clarity into confidence, because let's be honest, everybody, vanilla opinions don't pop bottles and they don't create stories like the one you heard from Stephanie today. So I wish you all big success.
Thank you
All
so
right.
much, Raylan. This has been such a pleasure.
I'm so glad. We have to do it again sometime.
Of course.
Oh my gosh, I love it. All right, everybody. We'll see you soon. Me and her are going to have a more fun conversation after this. Talk later.